Hey, this is Brittany, and you're watching the Living Beyond Asana vlog, and I want to talk about my decision many moons ago, now I guess it would be 14 years ago, not to go to law school. So, you may have heard this about me before, because it's in a lot of my bios and copy on my website and whatnot, but I wanted to be a lawyer since I was 11 years old. There was just something exciting about it, the opportunity to make a lot of money, right? That was definitely something that drew me in, as well as the fact that I used to love, as I got older, watching shows like The Practice, and movies like Legally Blonde, and things like that, which definitely gave a false interpretation in some ways of what it meant to be a lawyer. I thought it was all like trials and exciting stuff and, freeing the innocent and all of that. I mean, I was 11, so I think it's okay that I thought that back then. But as I got older, it didn't really go away. I kept that. And I took Latin in 4 years in high school. And then when I went to college, I took Latin and I took pre-law. So I was English because a friend of my dad's who was a lawyer had said you need to be able to write, right? So I think there was some other things working in there for me in the sense that I also am now a writer, right? So it's the universe was kind of I'm gonna give you this because you're not gonna take this route, so I'm gonna give you something else that you can use. So thank goodness. So I took English as a major in college, and then I minored in pre-law for the full 4 years. And I was about to take my LSATs, and then I killed all the classes. I took death penalty classes, and I took criminal law class, or not criminal law, I took law classes and all kinds of stuff. And I think the seed started to get planted with this one lawyer who basically tried to dissuade us. He showed us kind of movies that were more, which in his opinion were more indicative of what it really meant to be a lawyer. For example, Civil Action with John Travolta. He showed us that movie and was this is more of what it's like, right? It takes years and years and years to come into something or something of that nature. So I remember one time he said to me, he was I have an ulcer, I never see my children, I don't even barely know what they look like, I'm not happy. And that's why I went into becoming a professor of law instead of a teacher, or instead of a lawyer. Now here's the thing, I have two of my closest friends are lawyers, and one is an immigration lawyer doing an amazing thing, the other one's a public defender in Philly, and hi ladies, and they love their jobs and that's what they do, and I think it's awesome. It wasn't for me though, and when I was 21, I was in a relationship that wasn't the healthiest, but one thing that it did, in addition to actually getting me into yoga, was it tapped me into my creativity, and I started writing a lot more, and I started recognizing that what I thought that I wanted from being a lawyer wasn't actually real and wasn't true. It was fabricated by a conditioning that I received from growing up, from my parents, from society, that told me and that I believed that I had to do a certain thing, right? Become a lawyer or a doctor or go into finance to be fully respected in this society and to make money. And I wanted to make money because growing up we didn't have a ton of money, but there was kind of this brushing under the carpet of it. All right, it wasn't oh, we don't have a lot of money, so we're gonna really be careful and watch what we spend. It was more of we're gonna spend money, and then kind of when we can't, then we won't. So and that is kind of as much as possible would be brushed under the carpet as opposed to kind of voiced out loud. So there was a part of me from very little that knew or that felt, right, that I needed to make money, right? That I needed to be wealthy in order to be happy. That's what I thought. And in order to be successful, right? And I still want to make money, right? I post every day on Twitter about the six-figure yogi, #6figure yogi. So I still want to, right? But it's coming from a different place now. It's coming from a more integrated place, yes, less of a fear-based place. But when I was 21, I realized that I wasn't going to be happy being a lawyer. Like, I wasn't. So I was in the middle of taking a LSAT prep course, and I decided to bag it. And I decided, after spending a lot of money on that, I decided that I didn't want to go to law school. And I decided to stay in college an extra year, or an extra semester, to just continue to take a couple more courses because I already was taking courses in journalism because I liked them. So I wound up graduating with a major in English and a minor in journalism. So, and it was hard. Like, my parents were shocked, and not because, they never pushed me to do it until I said I wanted to. But when I did, they were really excited about it because they had that mindset too. And it's partially where I got it from. So it definitely took time for me to then, once I became a yoga teacher, to really drop in to the fact that I could be successful at this too. For a long time I thought, like, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to make any money, but I'm going to be happy. Right? And a lot of people think that. For me, there was a righteousness to it. I don't need to make money to be happy. And that's true. You don't necessarily have to do that. Money doesn't necessarily bring happiness, right? But it can also bring a lot of pretty awesome things. So, you decide what you believe in. But at the same time, I started to realize that I actually could make money doing what I love. So I went from a space of, making this transition, and yoga wasn't as big as it is now when I made this transition 14 years ago. So people, when I told them I was a yoga teacher, there wasn't that like, wow, I'm going to try that. There was the, oh, okay, well, at least you get to work out. And I was just like, no, that's not what it is. But now I've come into a space where I am so confident with what I do and why I do it. And I recognize that I can make money as well. And that feels like a really empowering place to be. Right? So, if you're passionate about being a lawyer and you want to be a lawyer and you want to go for it and it feels genuine and authentic to you, go for it. But if there's something else that you want to do that you feel like might not be completely supported by your family, or even just like understood, or even understood by society, go for that too. But remember that just because you're going for something that might, on the surface, make you not as successful, doesn't mean that you can't be a booming, blossoming, amazing success. So I would love to hear what you're passionate about, and I want to know how you're putting it into the world. Right? So let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next week. Thank you for listening. Namaste.